Welcome to this very quick announcement before the start of this video. So I'm planning on doing a ranking every historical Total War title from best to worst in the near future. And to stay unique, I want to have the community's input. So there's currently a 1-question survey down below. Just click on that link, put the titles that you think are the best at the top, the worst at the bottom, as you vote, and yeah, your results will be used in the video. The last episode started off with the Mongols destroying all the Middle Eastern empires. This episode starts off with the Timurids doing the same, but to the Mongols. They're already on a roll. Now, the Timurids usually become quite a big power. They have 150 turns left. Do they have enough time to actually build some form of land and create an empire that can stand a chance? Or will the game end by then? 150 turns left? Can the Timurids do it? Meanwhile, in Italy, the triangular alliance between these powers is completely broken. Venice and Milan are at war. The Venetians send an army to take the Milanese capital, Milan. Milan held off the attack and forced Venice back. Meanwhile, the Timurids burn Baghdad, and look, he finds this hilarious. The alliance between Denmark and Poland has broken. Is this going to result in a war? If it does, it's going to be a brutal one. The two greatest European powers, if they collapse on each other, then I can only see one power emerging, and I think it would be Denmark. Speaking of Denmark, they have lost against the English. England retook York from them and have moved up to try and take Inverness. Will the British Isles ever be united under one faction? Not if this Danish army here has something to say about it. Not only is Venice starting to strike at Milan, but so are the Danish. Reims has fallen to Denmark, and they've got enough troops, I think, to they might struggle, but they could potentially take Paris. Or maybe they're more interested in Metz and these two castles here. The Russians retaliate to the Polish invasion and reclaim Novgorod. Moscow has been named Russia's capital, but you know, they've taken their old capital back, which is good. It's a sign of things. It's a sign of change in Russia. I think they could hopefully push this back, take some some Polish territory, now that they've got Hungarian help and possibly even Danish help eventually. It's about time. The Turks has finally been destroyed, breaking this buffer state here between the Hungarians and the Mongols. Will the Mongols have the strength to push through onto Hungary with the Timurids chasing after them? Or will they break and the Hungarians start building an even larger empire in Turkey? The Polish push back and take Riga from the Russians. And looking at Milan, they were such a good power at one point, but then all of a sudden they slowed down, and that caused a lot of problems eventually. Factions declared war on them. Denmark, Venice for example. I can't imagine them holding on to France for much longer. They still have them as a vassal. They've lost all of their allies except for Poland. Wow. And of course Denmark has Metz under siege as well. And the English have enough troops here to possibly take Paris. That would be interesting, but this is the main thing with this turn. A crusade for Antioch, which is currently a Mongolian settlement. So is this another crusade against the Mongols? But if the Timurids can take this, and the Timurids do usually make Antioch their capital, it could become a crusade against the Timurids. If all the Europeans unite, send a few armies down there, and smash both the Timurids and the Mongols at once, that'll be a completely different game in the Middle East. Already the two of the Islamic powers have already been wiped out, the Turks, and I can't imagine the Egyptians making a comeback. The Moors are still alive and doing well, but you know, either one of two things is going to happen here. Either it's going to be the Timurids, or the Crusade is going to destroy both the Timurids and the Mongols, and you know, it's going to become a Christian empire down here. Only one of those two things could happen. That was very unexpected. It was actually the Pope himself who completed the Crusade. The Papal State sent a crusading army, and they took Antioch, and now the Timurids have them under siege, so I can't imagine this Papal crusading settlement here holding out for too long. We've got some Hungarians here as well. It looks like they got close, but the Papal States beat everyone to it, which was very weird. What was the point, Pope, in even calling a crusade if you're going to send your own armies there to do it? Russia on the rise now, they've retaken Riga, and also all the way over here, Spain is pushing up into modern France, or, you know, just France. They've taken Toulouse from the French, Dijon and Marseille are left for the French. They could get wiped out soon, I can definitely imagine that. Where is France? Right, they are still a vassal of Milan, but, you know, both factions are so weak right now, I can't imagine that, that alliance holding. A new homeland for the Timurids in Antioch. They're now going to expand very rapidly into the Middle East. But how far will they get, and do they have enough time? 125 turns left. Is that enough time to actually take the win? Possibly. It could be, I don't know. Denmark and Poland are the two favourites right now, I think, and Hungary as well. But with Hungary, you know, being Hungary are going to face the Timurids soon, I think, so I can imagine them collapsing very quickly. Or who knows, maybe they might fight them out, and take even more land. The Timurids have developed a brutal taste for settling. They've already taken 4 settlements, and I can see them going further. They've got another army going this way, which will probably take Iconium. Another one over here which could easily take Odessa or maybe go for Russians, and we've got other troops down here. They've already got Acre under siege, and everywhere else is going to fall. Can anyone stop the Timurids? The Hungarians might be able to slow them down. Maybe the Venetians in Egypt. Maybe the Russians in the mountains, but I'm only talking about slowing them down. But I think for the Mongols, once the biggest threat, are now going to get wiped off the map. The French are down now to their final settlement, and the Spanish are building some Western Mediterranean power. Do they still have the Moors and the Portuguese? No, they've still got the Portuguese as a vassal, but the Moors have broken free. I was going to say that, well, they would have been a really big power if they had those two as well, but, you know, the Portuguese is enough. Maybe they'll take the Moorish territory for themselves. And Paris has fallen to the Danish. Milan, it's not looking good for them all of a sudden. Last episode they were doing so well, and the episodes before that, but all of a sudden, due to a few wars and them slowing down a bit, everything's just collapsed. OP is definitely a phrase to use for the Timurids. They've almost completely swept the Mongols off the map, and are already the biggest power in the Middle East. I don't know what's wrong with the English, but they're really struggling to take these rebel settlements up here. You gotta kind of feel sorry for them in a way. It's like, I'm sure they've tried about 3 times to take this one now. Maybe, I don't know if they've tried for Edinburgh yet, but they're, you know, in England they should have been able to take these settlements by now, but, you know, they're struggling a bit. Maybe financial difficulties, or maybe the Danish destroyed their entire army. Who knows? The Hungarians, after taking Ayazi, have pushed up and they've made like a cut into the Polish Empire, taking this castle here, this citadel here, and they're definitely going to hold it with those troops. They've probably got enough troops here to take Kiev. Yeah, are we about to see the Polish just collapse and a new Hungarian power arise in the final few turns of this episode? That would be good.
Holy Bible
Ooh, now that I did not expect. A crusade has been called for Constantinople, a Hungarian settlement, a Catholic nation. Wow. Well, of course, I'm guessing the Hungarians have been excommunicated then, which is not what faction wants, and now they've got basically the entire world coming for them. They've got all Christian powers now. I think even the Russians might take a part at them because they share a border. The Timurids as well. The only faction they don't have to worry about is the Egyptians. Possibly the Moors. Oh, and of course, the Aztecs. Everyone else is going for Hungary. Good luck, Hungary. I wish you well, but yeah, you're done. What's he dancing for? Yeah, they've got Inquisitors in the land as well. it's not looking good for Hungary all of a sudden. Who knows, they might be able to hold them out, and all these wars, they might expand in every single direction, and it might help them. But when is the AI smart enough to pull off something like that? I think we could possibly see a big downfall for Hungary. I called it the Spanish were interested in building some Western Mediterranean naval empire, and they've taken Sardinia. I believe this is a plan. Of course, Venice and the Moors here could possibly take it. But you know, if they can get some troops down there or train some here, the AI is going to take a few turns before they actually attack. And actually, if I think about it, where are the Spanish? Oh, they are already at war with the Moors. Who are at war with Venice? So actually, if the Moors attack and the Spanish fight them with Venice as reinforcements, they could win here, and now Spain can push their troops down here and reconquer all of Iberia or vassalize them, whatever they're going to do. However, looking at it, all the Spanish troops are up here, some going on a crusade, and the Moors, they've got enough for about 3 or 4 full stacks here, which can just sweep through all of Spain if they make the right push. Hungary, maybe this is not the time to be expanding wildly, but whatever, they've taken Thorn, and this has cut Polish off into 2 empires. Ooh, I bet that's a real thorn in the Polish side. I've made that joke about 4 times. Once in this series and about 3 times in the last series. Don't worry, I'll stop now. The Hungarians have been reconciled, if that's how you pronounce a stupid word. The Crusade for Constantinople has been cancelled. The Hungarians, I think, have been saved, although there is a Venetian army here which could potentially take it. But for now, they're safe. Except for Venice. Everyone else is safe from, but Venice, they could still cause a problem. And maybe even the Timurids as well still. Although the Timurids don't seem interested. They have really slowed down a bit. Weird, they're building a navy. Oh, you know what, Timurids? Have fun with it. That was not good for the Hungarians. The Venice conquered Constantinople and split the Hungarians into, I was going to say 2, but it's actually 3 because they've got armies all the way down in Cairo. Speaking of this, they're at war with Venice, who clearly show like no limits. They're just going for the Hungarians right now. But they've got no troops in Cairo. They could just walk in there right now and take it from them. Why do the Mongols have a fort here? Surely the Timurids is your bigger threat, not Hungary or Venice. What an odd turn of events. So, first of all, the Hungarians had no troops in Cairo. The Egyptians walked in and they took it, and Venice lost Alexandria due to a rebellion. That was so weird. Out of everything that I could have expected, that was not it. I was expecting Venice to hold this and Venice to walk into Cairo, not lose this and the Egyptians to take Cairo. With quite a big army as well, they're probably going to hold this now. At least against the Christian powers. And the Timurids and Russia are at war. Which yeah, they will probably take the settlement here. And that's good for Egypt now. They've got a bit of breathing room now that they've got 2 settlements rather than just 1. The Hungarians have lost Constantinople, and then they lost Cairo, and now they've lost a 3rd settlement. I bet this 3rd settlement was a very particular thorn in their side. I'm so funny. France has been destroyed. Everyone, we can celebrate. Party in the comment section, everybody. France is dead. Hooray. I think it was regicide that got them in the end. And Milan have Staufen under siege. Whether they'll take it or not, I don't really know. But yeah, France is gone now, and France, as in modern France, is split between Spain in the south, the Portuguese in the west, the Danish in the north, Milan randomly in the middle, and a rebel settlement here to the east. What a weird France. Everything just collapsed for the Hungarians that turn. The Timurids took this settlement here, and the Venetians moved up and took Sofia. The Hungarians are trying to counterattack, but I don't think they'll have enough troops. And I'm sure the Polish are trying to take back their settlements as well. However, the Hungarians are making a push for Vienna. Will it be enough troops? I don't know, but if they can take this, then they're still doomed. But it would look better. And here we are at the end of episode 5. There's only going to be one more episode left. And that's going to be the final, coming in a few days I think. I can't remember when, but it's on the schedule. And yeah, what a good episode 5. We saw the Hungarians have a big rise in their empire and then a sudden collapse, and I think the Hungarians, I think they're mostly done. The Polish have lost some territory, but they're still alive. They can still bring it back. The Danish have just taken even more land and continue to grow. Milan, again, like the Hungarians, just collapsed. They've made some gains with the Danish now, so maybe they might be able to survive, maybe pull it back in the final episode, who knows. The Spanish definitely has made some big gains, taking parts of southern France and these 2 islands here. And of course, the Russians took back their settlements, but I don't think they'll have enough to win. And the Timurids now have most of modern day Turkey, this land here, and have almost wiped the Mongols out of the Middle East. But let's quickly check for diplomacy and the statistics. So there it all is, if anybody is interested in diplomacy. I love how Milan once was allied to everyone, now they're at war with everyone, almost. Right, now let's check the diplomacy. So we'll get the top 5 factions in. There we go. So overall, it's actually the Danish. Yeah, the Danish in first place, and the Timurids in second, but of course it's going to be decided by territory. Get the Aztecs out of there. Military-wise, the Timurids, so that's going to show that they're definitely going to expand very quickly in the final episode. But will they have enough time to take over Denmark? And territory, Denmark is in the lead right now, with about 14 settlements. Then drawing in second place is the Timurids and Venice with about 10 settlements, possibly 11 settlements. Yeah, 11 settlements. Then is this? Who is this? Ah, yeah, the Polish with 10 settlements in 4th place, and in 5th place the Spanish with about 9 settlements. So any one of these factions I think could quite easily win at the end. I think it's going to be Denmark, but the Timurids, they definitely have a lot of potential, but so do the Spanish, the Venetians and the Polish if things start going their way. Or will the winner be a completely unexpected faction out of nowhere? Will Milan rise again? Will Hungary rise again? Will, I don't know, the HRE rise again? I doubt it, but who knows. Hope you've enjoyed this episode. Hope to see you in the next and final part of this series. Good. Bye. This is a real thorn in their side, if you get it. Ooh, I bet that's a real thorn in the Polish side. I bet this 3rd settlement was a very particular thorn in their side. I'm so funny.
So sick of that joke!